Now I think we're on the right stream. Hey, do you believe in aliens or little creepy green men or things that come flying from the sky? Stick around. We're going to talk about it. Let's have some fun.
Welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels with your hosts, Sean and Marianne Dawn.
Hello there, parapeeps, and welcome to another episode of Our Haunted Travels. Let's talk paranormal live. I am your host, Sean Donnelly.
And I'm your co-host, Marianne Donnelly.
And we are on the right stream right now. Ooh. We fired one up a little bit ago, and it's probably going to pop up as a video on our channel and then go boop dead because I forgot to change the streaming key. But anyways, welcome. Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you're having a good day.
Hopefully.
It just hailed here not too long ago, and now the sun's coming out again.
Yeah, it hailed, it stopped, it hailed some more, rained a little, and now the sun is shining.
Yeah.
We'll
Interesting stuff. So while we're getting fired up, everybody in the chat, let us know where you are from. What's Marianne got going on over there?
I don't know. You never know about
interesting
me.
Going?
You never know about
where
me.
you are from. Oh, she just turned us up. So that probably blew out somebody's ears, but that's okay. All right. Let's see who we got here. All right, we got people checking in, so that is great. That is awesome.
Ooh,
so
we
things
have somebody
must be
from
working,
the Netherlands here today.
People can actually hear us, so that's a good thing.
Yes, we got Netherlands, Pacific Ocean, Arkansas, Ohio.
All right, would you like to talk about our today's show sponsors?
Our supporters today are Crash Palace, 12 Night Horror, and 12 Days of Movies. We also have our Patreon supporters. John is out there, BUB Unique, and DJ Southpaw.
That's right. So how can you become a show supporter?
Well, you can become a show supporter even though you haven't changed it from producer yet to supporter.
Did I? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't. By following us on Twitter, liking, retweeting, and commenting on our posts, and being in the top 3 for that week, you become one of those supporters. Or you could be a $5 a month or more Patreon supporter.
That's right. Let's talk about Patreon just for a second, because I found out something kind of interesting last weekend.
What did you find out?
Oh, actually, I saw it. Somebody mentioned it in the chat, and then I talked to her offline. You can actually become a Patreon follower and not, pay for that, and follow us along on Patreon. We tried Discord. We tried it. Didn't really kind of work out for us because we really haven't had time to actually go back to Discord and stuff like that. So, but if you guys would like to follow us along on Patreon, I'm sure at some point our Patreon page is going to jump out, maybe, in chat. But it's linked below. You don't have to become a monetary supporter, but we might start posting, kind of using it like a blog thing.
Okay.
I was thinking about that, some of the pictures and things like that, things that we talk about. Some of the links that you're going to talk about today, we could post in there. Marianne's just dropped it in chat. So, why not? And then we're going to be posting some stuff, once you're a supporter, you'll have access to that, and there's different levels. So I think we might do that.
All right.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right, before we get rolling, this show is live, so I apologize ahead of time if I make any mistakes, but Marianne is here. Her number 2 job, besides taking care of chat, is making sure she corrects me. And she does her job quite well.
I noticed this morning when we were watching Michael that Monica did that too.
I think that's what their jobs are. If you are new to the channel and you have not been here before, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You won't regret it. And then ring that little bell, and then that way you'll know the next time we post a video. But this is the time where we ask all you people, we got 16 in here now, we ask all of you, share this out. Let everyone know that we're live, because we're going to be talking about aliens here. And we got a special guest that might be coming on. Well, he's coming on. I need to make sure technically.
Are we not alone?
I don't think we are alone. We're going to talk about it. All right?
Our special guest is one of the people in the house, by the way.
He's in the house. All righty.
Yes.
There we go. Nightbot's working.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
DGH Darlington Ghost Hunter says our feed is frozen on him, but I am watching us and I am still seeing us go. So why don't you try and refresh that? See if that helps for you.
Let's see if that works.
Chris Mohan. No way.
Would you like to tell these folks who we are?
No, I'm going to let you do that because I've gotten far behind in this chat. I got to go see what's going on in here today.
Well, like we said in the beginning of the show, my name's Sean and this is Marianne Donnelly. We are the owners of PanicD.com and DarkShadowGhostTours.com, among other things. But PanicD.com is a database of over 800 different locations across the United States that have paranormal claims. Our Haunted Travels is a series that we started on our YouTube channel that talks about the history, the ghost stories, and paranormal claims of over 200 different locations that we have personally visited. And we also tell you our personal experiences and why those locations could be haunted.
Okay, very good.
All right, so we got to have an error in Nightbot. So just don't pay attention to that. I'll have to fix that later.
But I'll take care of that part. But Abraxas is here today, and your mom is here, and Polly's here.
So yeah. I think it's that time. You do the roll call. Time for roll call.
All right, let's go ahead and do that. So we have Abraxas Paranormal, Branscombe Farm, Chris Mohan, DGH Darlington Ghost Hunters, JNC Fishing Channel, Joanne Reagan. Joanne Reagan, by the way, is at Annette Reagan's house right now, supposedly, and she is watching from there. So Annette is watching as well. We have Kelly Reynolds, Mike Sozi, maybe, Nature Nerd Outdoors, Polly Vlogger, Raptor Pack 3.0, the Lady Vamp, and Yankee's Outdoor Adventures.
Well, welcome everybody.
Yes.
I am looking at Nightbot here. And see
okay, you go ahead and do that. I'm going to make sure I'm on my live chat here. No. Okay, so we have a bunch of people. Joanne says we are indeed. So she is sitting there and they're both watching. So they're definitely there. I know I saw your mom was listed here too earlier, but she must not have said anything in a while, so she wasn't listed in the list that I just read off. But we have Kay Johnston in the house tonight as well. So let's see what else is going on. Abraxas said is okay. We are just happy to see you here today. Says that sorry hasn't been on in a while.
All right, so now you're buffering.
Now I'm buffering, yes.
Okay, are you guys seeing us okay? Are we buffering? Did we lose you? Nope. Stream health is bad.
Well, you did try to do something.
Yeah.
And usually when you try to do something, it doesn't like it.
Should be back. Are you? Nope, it went back down again.
Chat discontinued. Wait while we try to reconnect you.
I think we just lost internet.
Snow showers with Yankee. Well, this is on mine, but I don't have that Yankee thing, so it might be my internet.
Are you connected downstairs or upstairs?
I am connected to...
hold on, folks.
I'm connected to this one.
Okay, so you're connected downstairs. Okay. All right, I see you good. Lady Vamp, keep freezing, but okay now. Well, we're getting issues. There are storms coming through Ohio, so our internet might be getting kind of...
Even though it's sunshiny right this second.
Yeah, but our internet goes through Akron, which there's more storms coming this way, so...
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Raptor Pack 3.0 says they don't believe in aliens. Yeah, I lost the video on my end.
Well. We'll keep on plugging through. We'll see what happens. Live tech support. I don't know. I'm dropping packets, but then it's like it comes back. So, I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up. We'll see what happens.
So, Yankee said that he has
yeah, see, Yankee's got
snow.
storms. They're coming this way.
I
We'll see
don't
what
want
happens.
it. You can keep it.
Yeah, I'm getting video output low.
I don't have internet on mine. That's what
All
my
right, so
problem
we had
is.
one internet feed just completely drop out. So let's just see what happens.
All right. Jelly
All right.
Duck is here, too.
We're going to just deal with it because there's nothing I could do from this end. All right. So let's talk about parapeeps a second.
Okay.
All right, so what does that mean to become a parapeep? Well, basically you subscribe to our channel, hit the bell, take a screenshot of that. I'm getting a lot of these through Twitter. What you need to do is email them to us. Right? What's our email?
PanicDvideos@gmail.com.
That's right. You do that, and at some point, someday, we're going to sit down and get caught up, and you'll get a certificate back that looks like that. Now, the reason why we ask you to do that is a couple reasons. Number one, we get your email. So we have that. And normally when we do this show, we give something away. And we ask for you to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and send us a screenshot. And if you become a certified parapeep, you won't have to do that because you can just say, here's my certificate. I am a certified parapeep. But
Hey, I'm back.
we have something going on this month. Would you like to tell them what we have going on?
We have ClueTube 2018.
That's right. And at the end of last month, we just wrapped up the big giveaway. So this month on these shows, we've kind of pushed it all again to the end of the month because we're giving away a couple $50 Amazon gift cards.
I
and
thought
some,
they were 25.
Yeah, a couple 25. Sorry, rewind. Couple $25.
Jeez, here we go again. Up in
Couple
the ante.
$25 Amazon cards. And did you decide how many vials of gold flakes we're doing?
No, I really didn't, but I have a bunch of them.
What
so.
happens if I open this? Is it going to make a mess?
Yeah, it's going to make
so
a
I don't
mess.
open
Please
it.
don't
So-
open and make a mess.
You haven't decided how many yet?
No, I got a bunch of them, but
Okay.
you know, we'll see who. We'll
so maybe
see.
5.
You know, we'll see. You know,
We'll see how many people enter.
Yeah.
See how many people enter.
Yeah.
All right. I think looks like we're back. Oh no, we're still.
Joanne said she would like a gift card.
Still says our
And,
stream health is horrible.
Wow. Okay. Well, we have some other people who have joined us. I saw Jelly Duck came in. Living My Way came in. Jewish Redneck Preppers is in the house. And I thought there was one more, but maybe not. But they have joined us as well. So welcome, welcome, welcome.
All right. So let's talk a little bit about some of the announcements that we have going on here. Let's see if I really freak it out while putting that screen up. Like we just talked about, the ClueTube is going on. But B-Roll SmackDown, we've been running that 2 this month for Michael Fire Jr. And the finals is out there. Marion's going to drop the link for that. You can actually go and vote. It's between TWG7 and That's How I Roll. And then we're going live tomorrow at 9 o'clock and announce the winner. It's going to wrap it up.
Yes.
Right? For
Yes.
October.
Yeah. So we'll see who comes out on top in that.
That's right. So hopefully everybody here in the chat has been following along with ClueTube.
Hopefully.
Does anybody not know what ClueTube is at this point? Let us know in chat if you've never heard of ClueTube.
But But in the meantime, while we're waiting for some responses about that, if you haven't voted in the B-Roll Smackdown, make sure you go ahead over and do that. And then after Sunday, after tomorrow night, we're throwing that back over to Michael Fire Jr. for
That's right.
November.
That's right.
Yeah. I do not have anything for today.
You don't have anything?
I do not.
No?
Should I go get your new toy?
Yeah, go get my new toy. Because that came from eBay, didn't it?
It did.
All right. Here comes the wind. Let's see how we are doing. Well, looks like the signal strength come up. And I've done absolutely nothing, folks. It's just the internet and YouTube, I guess. I don't know. Done absolutely nothing different.
Yeah, so I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So let's give this a shot. See if we can break this. Here we go. There we go. It's that time for Mary Ann's eBay update. I need to add that in there.
What's that? Me laughing
Like
or what?
echo. Mary Ann's eBay update.
Gosh. Well, today Sean got a box in the mail. It's Peter. Peter came to visit.
Yeah.
Now, when I just have to say, since I said Peter's coming to visit, there's a commercial that comes on at Christmas time, and it's for coffee. And Peter always comes home to visit for Christmas. And there's a friend of mine who would always come home right after that video was on. He would come home from where he was at, for school and things like that. Would always come home. So my mom, she'd always go, Peter! But anyways, this is a different Peter, but Peter came home today. Sean, actually, I bought him a Ray, one of these, a few years back. And so the other day he says, hey, well, you're on eBay all the time. Why don't you go ahead and see if you can find me the other guys? So I did, and the first other guy arrived today.
Yeah.
So
pretty cool.
There he is.
So we're waiting on a third one. He's coming.
Yeah, we're waiting on Egon.
They don't have all four. They
don't have Winston.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I don't know.
They didn't make it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess these were the original three, and they brought him in halfway through the movie, but he was in all of them. They should have one for him, too, don't you think?
Yeah. All right, so we're doing something a little bit different here. Thank you, by the way, for your eBay update. We're going to bring on a special guest. And normally I do this before the show starts. But I didn't.
Good job, sweetie.
So, we're going to be talking about little gray men. Little gray creatures.
Okay.
Right? What were some of those other things that we were supposed to say?
Oh, like the UFOs and
Ufology.
Ufology.
Extraterrestrials.
Mm-hmm. All of those.
All those little fun little men.
Yes. The little green men. The reptilians.
So talk for a second while I try to get our guest on here.
So I talked to some people on my show with the lady from out in Seattle. I've talked to a few people on who study ufology, so that's kind of interesting. And they really do believe that there might just be portals that some of these organisms are going in and out of as well. So that's kind of interesting. Is this it?
I think so.
Okay. But anyhow, UFOs, basically any unidentified flying objects that are out there. Hey! I see you.
Hang on, let me mute this there. Okay.
I see you!
All right.
FYI, you look fine on internet. You had a problem in the beginning.
Then
went away?
Well, let me flip this over so they can see who we're talking to. All right, Yankee
Look who's
from
here.
Yankee Outdoor Adventures. Yankee, hold on 1 second. We're going to pop in the headphones so that we can actually hear you better.
I could hear him.
Well,
I'm
can you?
special.
That way there's no echo.
Can you hear him?
I can hear him.
Are you guys getting an echo? Because we can leave those out. Seems to be working fine. Nobody's yelling at me.
Okay. All right, sounds good.
So, hello. How are you doing? I saw you're making your rounds today.
You've been a busy
Oh
boy.
yeah, we've been live streaming all day long. I think I should have just done a blitz, and I should have went on my channel on every in between and just ran 24-hour live. Why not?
There you go. Are you guys hearing Yankee okay?
Or do you want us to put in the headset?
Because I could put in the headsets and turn up the volume a little bit. Let me know. Delay.
No words.
Yeah, we got probably about 30-second delay, right? Polly Vlogs, welcome, my friend. It's great to see you out there. See, we got a lot of good people in the room. Craft Beer Pours.
Yeah, Craft Beer Pours just came in not that long ago, too. And we now have Hillbilly Pyro.
Hillbilly Pyro.
Yes. So welcome. Branscombe says it sounds good. Kay says we're hearing okay as well.
Hearing okay. All right.
Very good. Raptor had mentioned that aliens were fake, so I'm going to ask him, hang on, stay in the show, because the show might take a weird direction for you. Listen to what everybody's got to say before you make a conclusion.
That's right. You never know which way this show is going to go. That's right. Okay.
And you don't know the opinions of everyone involved just by the title of a show either. So we need to.
That's right. Are we alone?
Well, hang in there. Listen, and let's hear what's going on.
All right. So I just moved over chat so I can see it, and let's get rolling on here. All right. So basically, there are a lot of reports about UFOs and alien sightings, and it just so happens that the state of Ohio is the number 2 state in the United States for reports. Did you know that?
I do. I believe that. I have some opinions why I believe that, but Ohio is also leading in a lot of aerial testing for the government as well.
Yep.
So,
Yep, a lot of stuff, even the connection to Roswell and everything comes from the Wright-Patterson Air Base in Dayton. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of reports and stuff there.
Sorry, but I think a lot of people underestimate Ohio's pull in the aeronomic field. Even in most of our astronauts, people that have actually left the planet Earth were from Ohio.
Exactly.
It's one could wonder what it is about Ohio that makes people want to leave the planet, but
or become a president.
All you got to do is stay here a while. You'll understand. You'll want to go too.
Yeah. Leave the planet or become a president. Not too far from us in Warren, Ohio. Okay, we're in Youngstown. I actually lived in Warren for a while, and I grew up not too far in Newton Falls and stuff. But Warren, Ohio, is actually where Neil Armstrong, right? He's from Warren. He actually got his pilot license on an airstrip in Warren, Ohio. But yeah, and then you have NASA Glenn that's up in Cleveland with the engine,
research center,
center, and all that stuff like that. So yeah, Ohio does play a part in the space program, big time. Yeah. But one of the things that kind of gave me that, well, there's 2 things that gave me the idea for this show. Well, I guess it'd be 3.
He's just going to keep counting on his fingers till he runs out and say, okay, that's as many as I had ideas.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we are a paranormal channel. Paranormal, the field is not just ghosts, folks. It's anything that cannot be scientifically explained comes under paranormal research and investigations. So cryptozoology, like Bigfoot and, all those creatures and UFOs with MUFON and all that other stuff too. So, we do delve a little bit into it, not as much as we do some of the, ghost sightings and the history and stuff like that, but we do a little bit. We cross paths with people who are in those fields. Mm-hmm. And okay, that was interesting. But I think we're okay.
Sorry about that. I will make sure that don't happen again.
Oh, that was you?
That was your side?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sean's looking at his stuff over here going, oh.
I was looking for smoke.
Yeah, it was all me, all me. All
We
right,
haven't got
sorry
the
about
fire
That's all right.
extinguisher yet for the studio. It's on the list. But anyways, the second thing that made me think of this is, well, it's Halloween, and we want a little break in between the Clue Tube stuff and talk about some interesting topics. And there was a report that was in this area that's pretty well known. It came out in 1994 to actually involve 911 police departments and things like that. And that was in Liberty, which is not that far from here. And I thought, that'd be kind of interesting to kind of like talk about that on the show and see what other people think, and get their reports and things like that. And then the third one was a theory that hit me like 3 weeks ago, just something that hit me in the head. And I'll talk about that here in a second. But I did a little bit of follow-up on that and found out something quite interesting. But before we do that, I want to know from Yankee, since you spend a lot of time outdoors, have you seen anything that's kind of strange or whatever?
Well, see, I look at everything with I try to look at everything with a logical approach. Sometimes that leaves me just wondering what I seen instead of ever coming to a conclusion of what I seen. I definitely, when it comes to I'm a stargazer. If you really dive into my channel and follow me, anything that takes place outside, I'm really part of. And there's so many different solar events. And one of the most awesome things to do outdoors is to watch the stars. Now, in doing this, I would so be lying if I didn't say I haven't seen things that didn't behave normally in the sky. Does that mean I've seen an alien? No. Does that mean I've seen a UFO? Definitely, because I have no idea what it was. I know the physics of how airplanes look. I understand how things appear when they're on angles, and you know what I mean? You could take something and put it at the right angle. Well, a great example is if you ever live near a military base and you watch military planes take off. If you stand at the right angle when they drop and they're going into their altitude, they actually look like a dish. They actually look like a saucer. That's what they look like. And if you're standing anywhere in that right plane of sight, that's what it'll look like for several minutes. And in fact, it don't even look like it's moving for a few minutes because of the way that angle appears to you from the ground. So, you take all that into consideration to be able to explain exactly what you've seen. I see lights watching stars at nighttime that didn't behave like they should. Mm-hmm. Maybe stop, maybe go other way. Oddball things like that. But that doesn't mean we, seen alien, but we definitely have seen things.
Right. So it's just strange phenomena, and the definition of UFO is unidentified flying object. It doesn't necessarily mean it's from another planet or it's whatever. It's just you really can't identify what's going on. That's kind of weird. I mean, it could be our own aircraft. Although I'm getting into conspiracy theories, but
I would, and not to cut you guys off, if I'm talking too much, you
never talk all you want.
But a point I want to make, and why I'm quicker to say I can look right at something like that and try to analyze what our government has, opposed to trying to analyze what planet that came from. But I'll give you a reason why, so that maybe you can get a little more on my understanding. If back in the 1940s, our government experimented with all kinds of stuff. We were when it come to weapons, and one of the thing I'm pointing out most is the way we created a guided missile. Now, there was several different ways of trying to get a missile to be guided before we had the electronics to do so. One way that was invented, and anybody can research this because this is an item that our government talks about. One way that was invented, it was actually called Pigeon Drop, was the name of the mission. And what they did was they created a little cockpit inside a warhead with a TV screen. Now, this TV screen projected vision of the boats as the missile was coming into them. A pigeon that was trained to get a reward of birdseed every time it pecked on a boat on the screen would be sitting in this cockpit, and the pigeon would literally guide the bomb to its target by pecking on the screen on the boat. Okay, Yankee, why are you telling me all this? The reason, right here we go, 1940s. What did I just describe to you, aside from a crazy idea of having a bird guide a missile? This actually was a prototype that they put into a working progress, although they never used them in war. They did work. Now, what did I describe to you? I'll tell you, I described to you in 1940 a touch screen. Think about it. Mm-hmm. This bird was touching a screen and directing a missile. Now, what year did we get touch screens?
Yeah.
Okay? We had touch screens for a long time now. Okay, the reason I want to bring that point, is you got to honestly think about that with every single piece of technology. Our government is #1 in technology. I don't care how smart any of us think we are, they have it and had it long before we ever get it. Right. That's just the way it goes. Especially when it comes to any type of communications and stuff. I'd hate to just even wonder how long they've had an internet communication. Long before they decided to give it to a public band.
The origination of the internet was ARPANET, which was the government being able to talk to each other in case of a nuclear, whatever. Right. They were able to communicate. And the internet just basically expanded on that network. And that's where we got the internet from. That's why we're able to do this, is because exactly what you're talking about. When
they first had it, it was exclusive.
Right.
It was for them because of the disaster you mentioned.
Right.
But now it's open to all of us. So now think about this a minute. That means they're already using a new exclusive. Because they're not sharing with you.
That's right.
They're exclusive.
We're done with that. Give it to the peons now. We got something new.
Exactly. But that's the way technology works, though. We are the public is way behind in what we actually get to partake in. Yeah. And when you talk about certain types of craft and things, you might be talking about things that aren't powered a normal way. We're very smart here on Earth. We can create a lot of different things. And those are the technologies that may be suppressed even more because we are a fuel-based economy. So we cannot create too many things that are not fuel-based, or it's not good for our economy. So, that's another reason why things could be kept secret from the public, plain and simple.
Yeah.
But again, there gets into a kind of a politic. But
good stuff, though.
I hope somebody's paying attention to chat.
That's why I kind of left the title open. Are we alone? It's like I didn't want to pigeonhole it to one different topic. But this is great stuff. I mean, just discussing this. But what are you doing? She's over here. She's working chat. Are you working chat there?
I'm trying.
All right. So I'm kind of interested. People in chat, I look over every once in a while. I don't believe in this kind of stuff, or I do believe, or whatever. Anybody out there in chat, if you had any experiences of seeing anything strange up in the sky or anything like that, let us know, and let's talk about them. In your area, though, have there been any reports now let me explain our area a little bit more, okay? Because we're here in Youngstown, so we have the Youngstown Air Base, not too far, and the military does practice so a lot where they'll take off and they'll go over to the arsenal, which is 20 miles away, and do drops, okay? And they'll use the big C-130 planes and all that other stuff. So that takes place a lot, okay? And the report that came out, the one I mentioned in 1994 in Liberty, that's very close to the airbase. So it could have been something related to what was going on with the airbase, most definitely. However, That report went on even further, where they sent out a sheriff to go and investigate. And what had happened was when he got to that area where the reports were coming in and the calls, his car completely shut down. Everything electronic shut down. No radio, no nothing and anything. And he experienced, typical one of those things, the bright light coming down and all that other stuff. And when that went away, everything came back up. So that's actually part of the documented 911 case that was with that report, which I find interesting.
I find it interesting the number of reports that come in from police officers patrolling in general.
Yeah.
Because if you look at a lot of the reports that come in, especially here in Ohio, have been police officers going, I don't know what this deal is, but I can't identify this. Does somebody know what's going on with this?
Right.
So I find those interesting. Now,
could that have been something that our military was using, pre-war to see, hey, there's a police car down there. I'm sure he had the lights and everything going, and they see like an EM type thing to see if they could suck the power out, make it stop, and then go away. That's possible. It's very possible. So that's kind of interesting, though. So do we got anybody coming in with questions, comments, anything like that?
Well, Brian Vlasich said that he hasn't seen anything in the sky, but he had something happen to him at Carnation Plantation in Tennessee. So I said, do tell, but he hasn't mentioned it yet. And ATJH just wants to know what got Yankee started with YouTube.
It was a live show. Actually, was what actually got. I had uploaded YouTube videos prior to getting involved in YouTube. I did them primarily for people that I was talking to on a CB radio. I talk long distance skip radio, and if I was talking to somebody in California, here in Ohio, I would record the sound bite. I would upload it to YouTube, and then I would notify them, all right, here, this is where you can go listen to yourself, so you can see what your radio sounds like here in Ohio.
Oh, that's cool.
I did that with a bunch of, I don't even have them all up there. I just, I think I shared a few of them, but there's tons of them that I've done that just, all over the country. But that's all I did with it, and I didn't grow a channel or try to grow a channel or anything of the sort. One day, Delaware Patriot invited me to be on a live show. He's a prepper, and the topic was, CB radios. That's how he found my channel. And I was eager to do it. And from that day forward, it kind of bit me. I got bit by the YouTube bug being on his live show. I really enjoyed it. Started making videos like within the following week. I was making weekly content, and I have been making more than weekly content ever since.
Pretty cool.
Haven't taken a week off yet.
See, I know at some point, it wasn't that long ago, you and I were chatting back and forth in Twitter, and I think I told you, we're amateur radio operators.
Yeah, I do remember you saying that.
Yeah. Is Andrew still in
guys
the chat?
You're actually,
I haven't seen him say anything in a little bit.
Okay.
You're actually, I believe, a licensed ham, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I am what you would call one of them evil bootlegging pirate radios.
That's okay. That's all right. That's all right. It's all good. It's people like you that put a couple questions onto the exam.
Well, I'd have to say this. If the world was in a 911 scenario worldwide, your license wouldn't matter a bit, and you would be very happy to hear from me, this bootlegger.
That's true.
On your two-way radio.
That's very true. Very true. Very true. All right, so what do we got? Did we get anybody come in chat with anything? Oh,
yeah. So Brian was telling us a little bit about his experience, and the Lady Vamp said that the government can control our cell phones now, and that's what the real test was about. But Brian was saying that he was at a Civil War hospital, And he got to where he wasn't feeling well and had to leave the house and go to the visitors area. And when he was going back to catch up with the group, he was running up the stairs because somebody was coming down. He was moving out of the way, but no one was there.
That's my kind of place.
That's right. That's right.
That's my kind of place right there.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. I believe in UFOs, not aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I told you there was 3 different things that kind of made me think of the idea for the show. I think I covered 2 of them.
And you said you'd come back to the other one.
Yeah, the third one. Now here's one I want to throw out here, and we're only 39 minutes into the show, so we're going to have to start talking about other stuff. But anyways, the third one that kind of hit me like 3 weeks ago, and I come in, it was like one of those things where I like come in and I'm like, Marianne, we got to talk about this, because it was just something that kind of hit me. All right. I'm going to throw this out there, and this may blow some of your guys' minds.
Uh-oh.
Okay? There's always been this question, are we the only ones? Are we the only human race, the only ones, planet Earth, that is out there? Okay? Now, think about this, though. Is it possible that the planet Earth, the distance from the sun, the size of the planet, our atmosphere and all that, and the size of the sun and everything, is the perfect blend, size, everything that can only sustain the life that we have? Think about that. And then I was talking to somebody else about this theory too, and they said, well, they had read somewhere or heard something that, now that we can see other galaxies and things like that, that they do see different, similar situations that could sustain the same life that we have on Earth. And I don't know where that thought came from. It sounds like one of those where you're kicking back with some, whatever, but I wasn't. I definitely wasn't.
He doesn't.
But
well,
so there's a thought there.
Let me add one into that theory. Do you think it's possible to have another intelligent species here on Earth that is keeps itself separate from us? For maybe it's more intelligent. Well, maybe if it was, it would be smart enough to stay away from us.
That's right. Yeah. I mean, look at all the claims of Bigfoot and all those other things.
Well, we think about diversity of. Well, I mean, you want to talk conspiracy or talk hypothetically, because when we talk about aliens, we're hypothetical anyway.
Right.
The world is only what we are allowed to see of the world, anyhow. If you have not seen a place, you've only been told it was there. That's all you have. That's, open and closed. Mm-hmm. If technically there could be, say, in the South Pole region, an entire race of humans that you've never seen before, because our government and their government don't get along, and they're more intelligent, so they say, you don't tell your people about us. It could be. I mean, just the same as hypothetical as anything else, that, a whole species could live here on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
However, I just like to think, is it possible that there is any other type of intelligent being that could have evolved with all the diversity of life there is on Earth? To think that the only style of an intelligent being is what you see as us, mankind. If you believe in types of evolution, this almost seems flawed to seem that we're the only intelligent creatures here.
Right. Exactly. What have we been told? What have we been taught? What have we been able to research as far as documented history and things like that? Is it possible, and again, like you said, this goes to theory and conspiracy theories and things like that, is it possible that there are governments, previous civilizations, things like that keep that information from the general public?
Right. Well, take here's a perfect example to give you this world that could exist. One of my favorite conspiracy theory things is the Hollow Earth. I mean, have you ever
Right.
heard the? Okay,
Yep.
so go the hollow Earth route. If it were true, and I mean, at the point to where you say, well, there's a whole species of people that are more intelligent, that part's not so hard to believe, honestly, in my opinion, because of the adversity in life here on this planet. To think that just us, if you believe in evolution, now of course, if you cross it over to a religious or spiritual aspect, then this whole thing loses ground anyway. You know,
Right.
It's
Right, exactly. You know, and not just the hollow earth, you know, you got the depths of the ocean too. You know, what's down there? There are depths of this ocean that we have not been to. Because
we
you
know
can't go
less.
to.
We know less about. We know more about our moon surface than we know about our floor of our ocean.
That's correct.
That's pretty messed up, really.
Yeah,
you know,
there
when you
was
think
actually
about
an
what it
astronaut.
takes.
There was actually an astronaut who quit the NASA program to go and do research in the oceans because of that very thing. He's like, okay, I've been there, I saw that, but what about what we have right here?
Hey, I like Brascom Farms comment in there.
Yeah.
You know, I always loved the theory. You know, if anyone's ever heard it, but the reason there was a race to the moon wasn't you know, to get there before the Russians, but it was to get there to get whatever was left by the last Earthling that was there, because we found out that we were there before. We found books and we discovered that, holy crap, we've been to the moon in the past, because that whole thing runs on a theory that just the Earth is just way much older than we all believe. And in our point in history, we're just a species with amnesia. We have absolutely no clue of what we came from, because so much had rose up and fell and rose up again and fell before we got here. We just we're lost in that history. But it's a cool theory, though. It's another one that's campfire worthy, you know, to sit around and indulge in.
Should I address this or let it go?
No, no.
Okay.
All right, yeah. Branscombe Farms he had a great thing there, and then he also mentioned the idea that, you know, all we really know is what's been recorded, and
Right.
and that's absolutely right. And who did the recording?
And history is written by the victors, and
Exactly.
And that's, you know, that's plain and simple. So, and we know that as well.
Yep.
You know, and the way we interpret things too, you know, isn't it funny how when we find ancient things, we automatically turn them to a religious or mythological before we try to put any common sense or logic to it, as if for some reason they think mankind was so much less intelligent then. We weren't less intelligent. We were just less technically inclined. Mm-hmm. But humans have always been very, very intelligent. That's how we got to where we are today. So, you know, it is always amazing how we're so quickly to dismiss everything to being a myth when it's ancient. You know what I mean? Instead of trying to decipher more of what it is they were actually telling their people in their stories and stuff.
Right, exactly. What do you got going on there?
6,000 years old.
Okay.
All right. So, Lady Vamp was mentioning that Bigfoot, if Bigfoot was real, he's really smart because we can't seem to catch him. How about Bigfoot? Have you encountered any Bigfoots out there in the woods there, sir?
Okay, what we got to go into, we got to see, if you're going to ask me the question, I'll give you the honest answer, because yeah, again, there's never been a time that you're in a place when you're all alone that you won't encounter something that you can't understand. So, but when it's me that we're talking about, I honestly stop and try to analyze even my own psyche before I jump to any conclusion. We got to understand how our human brain works. This is an amazing organ. And even though we think we're so in control of our lives, our brain is just as much an organ as our heart or our lungs. We're not telling our heart to beat. We're not telling our lungs to breathe. And we're really not telling our brain to think. This is a function that it has. And when we encounter something that we don't know, something in the woods or something scary, we fill in the blanks. Our brain does this for us. This is because we're a species that likes to know answers. So when you start to realize that your brain's going to fill in all the blanks, you can see how stories can grow. So yes, I have seen things. When it comes to Bigfoot himself, there's always been a legend of a Bigfoot. But through the Lenape's interpretation of Bigfoot, he wasn't actually a monster or a ape. In fact, the hair covering his whole body is a bear cloak, made out of bear skin, and he wears it all up over his head. And a lot of times he'll wear a mask that is a crinkled up face, or you'll see his crinkled up face. But there's a legend of why his face is crinkled too. But nevertheless, he's not actually an item. See, that you can touch. That's why nobody has caught him. You'll see him. You can see him. He may enter your village, but he's a spirit. He's a spirit of the forest. He has a purpose, and his purpose is to protect the animal, especially in this region where you guys live, where I live, all the way to the coast. He has a purpose right here in this region as a number one protector of the deer. So, and
see, I was just going to ask about that.
As see deer, as long as there's deer in this area, then Masingu is still with us, and that's. But Masingu is not Bigfoot though, but he is mistaken for Bigfoot because he don't talk and he's big. And you could see him in the woods because he's out there caring for his animals, but you'll never catch him.
Have you seen Have you seen any type of tracks or any type of, some of the reports with Bigfoot, how the trees are, upside down and things like that? Have you seen any of that stuff like in the woods or anything like that?
Like I have seen, because I go off trail all the time, but. Again, trying to analyze what I see as I see things, I have seen trees snapped off in odd places. Mm-hmm. But I have also, right here where I live, went through a straight line windstorm. And in this straight line windstorm, it did some amazing things to every tree in a 20-foot wide path and didn't do a thing to any other trees. And if you've seen the way it snapped some of the tops and the way it twisted things and laid things backwards, you'd understand kind of real quick that Mother Nature has a heck of a force out there in the woods. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're in bear country, here's another one, because I have done a lot of hiking in bear country. Bear like to make a lot of ruckus when they are trying to claim their area. If a bear, and he's heavy, gets up on a tree, and he starts doing this rock, and he will. Have you ever seen a car hit a phone pole and the top snaps out? All right, that's because of the friction, the snap. That's what'll happen to the tree from a bear doing this on a tree that's the proper size for it. And I've seen that happen. So, there are too many explanations when you see things like that, as far as rutting tracks and. You see all kinds of things. I think probably the craziest things will be the sounds you hear in the woods at night. And, because, and I pointed out in shows before, mating season of whatever type of animal, insect, or whatever can be a very interesting sounding time of year, mm-hmm. And you may not recognize a normal sound. Who knows? Who knows what's out there?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's always something out there in the dark when you can't see.
Absolutely. And I think that does play with a lot of people's minds too. Whether they think it's something that it's not, or just that it terrifies them. Because, I had woods growing up. I had 9 acres of woods behind my house. And I tried to walk back there in the dark one night. after I had found this big cage that had been placed on my property. And we kind of were like, who put this here? What is this? But I tried to go out and see, like, was somebody back there trying to do stuff? And it terrified me. Like, I had walked in those woods like a million times, you know? But because I knew somebody had done something strange out there, I was walking in there, had just the moonlight. I didn't have a flashlight or anything because I didn't want people to know I was coming. And I'm like, I can't do this. You know, I can't go that far. You know, so your mind will play those types of tricks on you too. You know, even if it's just some normal event, normal person. So
yeah,
you throw those, you know, Bigfoot and aliens and, you know, all that stuff in there too.
Minds, you know, the alien gray, for a perfect example, the alien gray, they'll even tell you they can track the timeline where it appears, and it was definitely movie initiated. So, you know, I mean, our brains love to fill in the blank. That's what our brains do. This is their job. Nobody likes to not know the answer. So, and that's the worst thing is, your brain's going to answer with the answers you have available for it. So, you know, do you like to watch a lot of horror movies on TV? Now go sit in the dark a minute and let your brain tell you what's around you.
There's a fun date night right there.
You know, but you know, I mean, in a sense, we control that. You know, but I don't care who you are, you're going to encounter things you don't know, because that's life in general, you know?
Yeah.
And I guess it comes down to how you interpret it, to will you let it bother you. I've had, you know, I hear stories about Bigfoot, and I had bear, because I was camping, and I ended up moving my camp. The best I could figure, I was camping at their crossing area, or near their area where they came through, because, they were messing with us. They were shaking trees. They were kicking things. There was a big hillside, and I know it was bear kicking stuff off the top. We couldn't really see them really well. It was real thick wooded. I know my buddy still says it was a Bigfoot that run us off, but you know, we got to remember when we're camping and we're staying out in the woods that this isn't really just, you know, we go along, we're like, oh, wow, this is a nice spot. Boom, this is ours.
Right.
If it's a nice spot, 99.9% of the chances are animals know that spot too. It's a nice spot.
It's nice for them too.
You know, and exactly.
It's like the thing with spiders. You know, everyone's like, "Oh, I hate spiders." Well, if a spider's there, then it's a good living condition. There's a reason why they're there. You know, yeah. If you see a bunch of dead spiders, hold your breath. Oh, here comes the wind.
Oh, yeah. It just got, like, really kind of dark all of a sudden, and the wind picked up again.
Yeah.
How's it over there? You mentioned the idea of snow. Are you actually getting snowflakes over there?
Not now. We had the wind. It was spitting rain earlier, and then that wind got really crazy, and it dropped in temperature just in the wind. And all that rain that was coming down turned white, and it was just snowing to beat all, and then it quit, and it rained again. So, yeah, I mean, it was officially our first snow shower, but, you know, of course, it's way too warm to stick or anything, thank God.
We had hail probably about 20 minutes before we went live. It hailed for about 2 minutes.
Yeah, and as soon as it stopped, it melted. It was gone, like...
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah, as soon as it hit the ground.
Yeah.
Hopefully we didn't get damage on the cars, but...
Yeah. Oh, well. If we did, we did.
Our minds are amazing. Yes.
Yeah. All right. So, crop circles. What do we think about crop circles? You know, I know a lot of people who have farms.
Yeah.
You know, because we work in a fairly rural area. And there's a lot of farmland around the school district, and I mean, I haven't been anywhere above it to see it, you know, to look down on it. But I always wonder, like, how did people know that there were those crop circles in there unless they were up above. You know, we just got
over.
Yeah, we just got drones.
I tell you what, it did come
2-3
out that
years.
the ones over, you know, over in the UK and stuff, it did come out that those were fake. They admitted that they faked them. But I tell you what, that took some talent to do all that in one night.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. But again, on that same note, you know, they came, and you know, that's like, what was it in the 60s? The guy who confessed to leaving all the Bigfoot tracks in the 60s.
Yeah, the guy that did the film and faked the film.
He was the guy who marked the trees that were going to be cut out for roads. So he was like the very first dude in. And then
can you imagine if he was on YouTube?
Road department. Yeah, and he put on fake feet every time he got done, and it was muddy. He put on fake feet and run around because he thought it was a joke. He was playing on the next crew coming in.
Yeah.
And, you know, when you get those things introduced, you know, as soon as somebody hears of the one, it's duplicated. So that has to be kept in mind. You know, so who knows, right? That's once the people start admitting things like that, it makes it harder even yet to you know, to give any proof to it. So
yeah,
I just think it's hilarious, like that people could go in there and do it and make it so perfect, and the fact that, you know, we really didn't have a lot of aerial shot ability until the last couple years, unless you had a plane or something. So for somebody to like wake up in the morning and go, "Hey, there's stuff out there," how did they know?
Sorry, Yankee, this wind makes me nervous. We have 60, 65-foot trees around the house. You want to go grab that real quick? So when this wind kicks up, I'm waiting for one of them to come right through, boom, right through the house.
We used to. Now they're all level with the house.
All right.
We had a straight line that literally took the roof off the front of our house a couple years back, but it also topped every tree. So all the trees are all busted off at the same level as the roof of the house.
Yeah.
Oh, kidding. We called a guy to come out and look at that. It just fell on his house.
All right.
We're gonna have to...
Well, Yankee, we're going to have to cut this short. And I want to thank everybody. I want to thank you for being on. We got a phone call. We got to go take to a tree, come down on our property, and hit a house.
Oh.
Yeah. We got to go take care of that. So I want to thank everybody for stopping in. Yankee, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it, my friend.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I really appreciated being here. You guys have a great day. Everyone, thanks for coming. And I'll see you all soon.
All righty. All right. Thank you, guys. If you'd like to see more videos from Panic D Videos in the future, make sure you hit that subscribe button and smash that bell for notifications. Also, help support the channel by sharing this video with your friends and family and anyone else who might be interested in the paranormal. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting.